How's it going, everyone? It's Shine here from Fear and Greed. By the way, Fear and Greed is the name of our podcast that we have. You know, like we have a middle ground with Fear and Greed. You know?
That's a great
and
name.
Today we are with KK, and also you guys already know who KK is, and a lot of you guys are going to see the podcast and also this whole type of interview or conversation that we're going to have now. You're already going to know and recognize who's KK and also what's his position in all those countries that I would love also from you to hear exactly what's your mission on those regions and all the regions that you covered and everything. Today we're going to have a conversation about how we had our first day on the conference and also what we are expecting. KK, thanks a lot for being here, and it is my pleasure to host this podcast, and also looking forward to see whatever you have in storage for us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Absolutely impressed by how you invited us and how you treat us and how the community is treating us and what's the interest of the community. I was not expecting anything that level, so absolutely impressed and very happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm very happy to hear that from you, you know, and also it was a crazy day, you know, like we expected that type of crowd, but not that type of interest, to be honest, you know, and to kick this thing off, how do you see those whole, let's start with as a region, as a Balkan region, to continue with Kosovo afterwards. How are you seeing Balkans as a region evolving in crypto adoption right now?
So it's a diverse region in terms of the regulation and in terms of the sizes of the country. The main benefit of the Balkans is that you guys are not all the countries in the Balkans are subject to the EU regulation.
Yeah.
And basically are not subject to the many limitations applied already to the EEA countries that are in the MiCA framework.
Yeah.
So basically, provided temporary, we have the limited marketing in Europe in the non-regulated markets when we don't have the grandfathering period from the previous licenses. So until we have our MiCA license issued and passported, we cannot do too much of the marketing because the guidelines are very strict, and we fully comply with the European requirements. We respect them.
Exactly.
Not everyone in the market does, but we cannot risk our reputation. So that's why we are really focusing and doubling down on the Balkans. And that's why it's a good momentum for you and for us to spend more time with our community here, to hear back from you, to do more in the region. So really happy to do it.
Exactly. You know, like the only, just like you mentioned, you know, like not everyone follows the real legal stuff that are happening on different countries. And also we were discussing for the, you know, like many other institutions that are, you know, like now in the market on how they are going all in, you know, like, and also not looking into what's going to happen with them afterwards, you know, like, which is also a huge risk on itself as well. But I respect that a lot, you know, like, and also while we were doing, Sandra there is also on the behind the camera, and also while we were cooperating with Sandra to complete everything about preparation and everything for Binance to come in Kosovo. To be honest, we weren't going, when we were cooperating with other institutions, we weren't going on those type of procedures, you know, like it was a full type of agenda, you know, like checking in with, you know, like all the legal team, all the, you know, like PR and stuff. And is that affecting on your scalability, or is something that is still working, even that is you know, like is hardly regulated as an institution?
You mean from the regulations point of view?
Yeah, from and also Binance as an institution respecting those regulations, you know, because other institutions are not respecting that much and are not following that much.
Yeah, so our reputation and the trust of our users is the key to our success.
Exactly.
And for no revenue from the market, no revenue from the product, we can risk to put our users in risk. Right? So basically, if the regulators in Europe are not happy about the Binance, our users across the globe are going to be affected. it's still a very complex, landscape, because every country has their own regulation. And we just need to think every day and every minute if we are not violating anything in 150 countries. And all the institutions and the government organization, they always issue new regulations, new terms and conditions. So we need to make sure we do not violate anything. But that's why we cannot risk our reputation, and we just want to be as compliant as possible.
Exactly. Now, moving on to Kosovo, because right now we are in Pristina in our offices and also hosting this whole podcast and stuff. How do you feel about Kosovo? Like the enthusiasm of Kosovan people, as from what you saw today. Let's just what you saw today, and not from any type of metrics that you guys have, and you guys know better even from data side and stuff. But as for what you saw today on the event, how do you see this type of enthusiasm evolving into something that actually going to have an impact, like even globally maybe?
Yeah, so at Binance, I'm mainly responsible for the emerging markets.
Yeah.
So I know how in the emerging markets are people striving for crypto.
Yeah.
Including some African markets, right? When there is a very low rate of the education, there is a lot of the poor people, right? They don't have the access to the basic things, to the banking, etc. But they are striving to crypto too, right? So they are looking for the ways to get out of this situation, right? But here is actually not just I saw the amazing interest to crypto, but I also saw all the preconditions to become Kosovo to be super successful. As we discussed it already, low tax, high level of the education, high level of English, a lot of interest to crypto, and a lot of the basis for the crypto products and crypto builders, because there is a lot of IT, there is a lot of developers, and another part is the crypto-friendly government or the future government. So I understand it's going to be crypto-friendly, hopefully. So I think these factors, together with already a very high crypto adoption here, so 14% of the population has an experience with crypto, plus all these basics, plus your strategic location near the EU, but not being a part of the MiCA framework. I mean, to the moon. That's the only thing I can say.
Let's go. I was telling you that, till this year, we were kind of desperate that we are not being under EU, And right now, I was telling the team as well, hopefully we never get under those guys, to be completely honest. Just to have those type of advantages that, we have, it's not that nothing drives more than a passion about tech and crypto and everything else, for people to come into Kosovo, to be completely honest. Of course, they can come to experience the culture, they can come to experience, also the old cities that Kosovo has, and also the momentum, momentual architecture and everything else. But they need a trigger for that, with that trigger can be crypto, to see what's going on all of those countries, and also all of those cities that we have right now. And I saw you interacting with a lot of builders. How do you see the building mindset of those people that you interacted today?
It's very good. A couple of the super successful cases, and I think it's amazing. I think it's actually we jointly, as the participants of the industry, can do a better work in just sharing these cases to the people, right? And it's not about investing into Bitcoin or whatever, right? It's about building the tens of millions dollars projects, right? Someone has built the almost 100 million project. The other guys, they have more than 1 million people every day in their game. Another boy of the 14 years old is already investing into the crypto. So this is amazing. And I think as an industry, we just need to demonstrate these use cases to motivate and encourage new people, not just invest in crypto, but also educate them and going to the building and creating in the blockchain. And you already have all these cases here, so it's impressive.
I appreciate it. This just like we were discussing also with the team and stuff. First, it was a vision that we had, and also driven by the passion that we had, you know. After that, we started taking some actions, you know, like going into different type of global conferences and meeting such people like yourself, you know, like, and people who have actually a position in those type of institutions that can drive those stuffs. After that, it evolved, you know, like into action taking, like a progress, which we hosted the previous season of the conference, you know, like, and we saw how things are going smoothly and everything is being adopted and stuff. And now this type of whole vision is taking shape on, is being shaped on, you know. Yeah. And you know, as for me, as Shine, you know, I can talk on behalf of all the team members that are working behind all of those type of activities, and also taking those type of activities on the next level. I'm super proud, you know, that you guys were happy with it. You know, like, it's a milestone. Maybe for someone it's not that much of a big deal, you know, like to have those type of achievements and stuff. But for me, and also my team that was working continually, like sleepless nights to showcase this type of enthusiasm, is a great moment, which I thank you for that. And also Sandra, you know, like, and all the rest of Binance team. And to go to more, you know, like, attractive stuff, you know, like, because we know that a lot of people will look for that, you know. How does CZ looks in person? You know, like, you guys work closely together, right? And also you guys were in Kyrgyzstan or in Kyrgyzstan, right? You guys were recently. Yeah. What's your guys' vision? You know, like, as an entity of this type of mass onboarding and also government onboarding. You know, like, because I'm seeing now everyone is taking this type of blueprint, you know, and what's the vision about it? How you guys are seeing this to evolve into being an actual thing and not just a pump and dump hype, if we can call it like that?
Yeah. So it's actually for the last 2 years I saw CZ twice. Yeah. Unfortunately, he is not engaged into any Binance activity since I think like 1.5 years already. Yeah. I was really impressed that in one of the interviews I heard that he said that the Binance is very well run without him being on board. Yeah. With our CEO, Richard Tank, and other key leaders. Yeah. I think that really that transformation continues and it's going very well. But CZ, of course, remains an icon, right? And most probably the biggest influencer in the crypto space ever. Yeah. So it's always good to see him and to learn from him, see like what he can share, what projects he is doing. So one time I saw him on the Binance Blockchain Week.
Yeah, he was. Everyone was going nuts, you know.
When I was not even able to get into the room, so I was seeing from the screen, and then and then I saw him from in the Kyrgyzstan. So in Kyrgyzstan we had different agendas. Okay. So my agenda was related to Binance topics. Which is payments in crypto, education, and help to local law enforcement. And CZ has his own agenda related to the BNB chain. Exactly. So we actually. He has introduced together with the president and the crypto council that the Kyrgyzstan is starting crypto reserve, which is going to be with BNB and BTC. That's huge. So that's amazing that more and more countries are going into the crypto reserves and understanding that this is going to be a trend. I really think there's going to be the competition between countries who is going to be first to introduce the crypto reserve and first to buy Bitcoin, right? Because everyone who follows will buy it most probably to X or whatever. So and there is also a couple of the other important projects that the Kyrgyzstan has as a potential. But it's really also gets me back to Kosovo because you see the innovating countries are the small countries. Yeah. Because they cannot compete with the huge countries in terms of the size of the economy, but they can compete in leadership and in the quick decision making and country transformation when it doesn't go through the huge bureaucracy and never ending decision making, when you can actually quickly lead innovation and apply it into the reality. Yeah. So I actually think that Kosovo is great positioned for that. Yeah. And can do the same or even better things.
I hope so. You know, like we're gonna push it as much as we can. You know, like to have that type of vibe. As you were, you know, like a lot of people think that like Binance is successful because CZ was the CEO of Binance, which is absolutely a fact. Like, but every type of leader needs to have a stacked team behind, like who always stays behind that type of leadership, and also like do their job, like on the best way possible. So what's the, compared to all the maturity of the space that we have right now, like going back and forth on the maturity of building, like something on crypto, how do you see Binance team, like as from the maturity side? How do they understand and how they see the market as one, like on evolving into institutional moves,
So at Binance, there is actually a lot of founders.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
And like 90% of the founding team is working at Binance.
Yeah.
Most probably CZ and one or two more for these 7 years has left. But the majority of the team is at Binance and really busy every day to continue, striving and driving the industry forward. One important thing is our corporate culture and the mindset. And the mindset is being hardworking, being humbled, and always listen to the users.
Love it.
So even there is a rule within the leadership team, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Love it.
So there is a rule every 3 months. We are dedicating one full business day to spend the time on the customer service. So we sit down with the customer service agent. They teach us
lecture you guys.
They lecture us. Then we sit down with them, and for 5 hours we are answering to our users as the CS agents. So we call it CS agent Kyrylo, or whatever. So we really need to understand what's happening, and we also encourage our team to spend at least 15 minutes in the community per day, 15 minutes. In our social media, engage in the global social media. So we need to listen to the users. Even our co-founders like Hei, she's always tracking what's in Twitter. And if anything, like any feedback or something, it's immediately escalated. And we are processing it, the product team, tech team, security team, legal team, whatever. So this mindset of if you're able to help one user, that's a good day. Doesn't matter what's your position.
Exactly.
Is actually what we cherish and what we continue doing.
With that being said, I need to mention, because Binance support, like is one of the most active support team, like if I can call it like that, on the space, like, and sometimes I'm also surprised how they manage to maintain all of those, like users who are actively requesting, like different type of stuff. Most of them stupid stuffs, like, to be honest, because of the not understanding exactly, which of course you guys have the most, over 250 million users right now, right? Which
270 already.
270. Yeah. God damn, like a lot of them are not crypto experts, like, which is gonna ask different type of questions. But every time, even in our community, like that, we have a trading community as well. Even in our community, every time that someone has a problem and they ask us for any type of middleman type of, like connection stuff, we just always say to them, contact support. Like you're gonna get your answer directly right away, and they get it right away answered. They start proceeding with their problems and stuff like that, which is a great one. Like, and also all of those. But another, I know that you're not into the. I don't think that you're into much like the business model of whole Binance and how Binance works. Can you just generally, like elaborate on how Binance makes money? Like on the most simplest way possible that you can elaborate on.
It's actually quite simple. It doesn't require any technical knowledge or anything. So first of all, we never had any investment from any investment fund or any investor. So we do not own anyone anything.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a good just good to understand the corporate structure and our debt structure. So it all belongs to the co-founders.
Yeah.
And secondly, we are also very important to understand we are not dependent on the market movements. So if market goes up or if market goes down, our business models do not change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. So we earn from every transaction that users are doing.
Yeah.
And that's our revenue. And our our team, our infrastructure is our cost.
Yeah.
Right. So the more users are on Binance, and the more users are trading on Binance,
Yeah.
the more revenue we are having. So it's quite simple. So the maximum revenue, the maximum commission is 0.1%. But then when you go through the different VIP levels, as you increase your trade, you can get much lower fees, and as more BNB you hold, you can also get the discounts on the fees. So that's basically the model.
Love it. So BNB is the native token of Binance, or how does BNB relates with Binance?
So BNB was founded by the same founding team as Binance, so they have the same shareholder, but that's completely different team. So it's not a Binance team. BNB has their own team. But obviously, Binance operates within the BNB ecosystem, and the same BNB fuels Binance use case for the users to get the discount. So we are continuously burning BNB to make the supply smaller to increase the price. You can use, most important one is that you can use BNB to participate in the launch pools or mega drops to claim and
rewards
to claim tokens for the upcoming listing and rewards airdrops. And also for the VIP users, the more BNB you hold, the more trading fees discounts you're having. So there is a clear connection between increasing number of users and increasing the value of the BNB, right? So the more users Binance is having, the more valuable business case it is for the BNB. So it's kind of connected a little bit.
Yeah, that's. I'm doing those questions on purpose. You know, like I actually know the whole ecosystem and how it works and stuff.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, but you know, like a lot of people misunderstand those two things. You know, like and also misunderstand on how they operate together, which is it can cause also some you know like misleading on the space as well.
And just add one thing here. It's very good to understand it because like the majority of the tokens that we are having in the space are useless, right? They're more like a hype tokens, and their business model is not connected actually to the business model of the company who introduced these tokens. So it's usually they are served as the matter of the crowdfunding, right?
Exactly.
But for the Binance, for the BNB, there is a clear applicability and there is a clear use case. So that's important to understand for everyone who is wondering about BNB.
That means to buy BNB, you know, that's in a way or other, you know, like the demand of BNBs, because we are working on supply and demand type of, you know, like metrics. The supply is being burned continually. I mean, recently, CZ announced that they burned hundreds of millions of dollars, I guess, worth of BNB. You know, and
it's a quarterly plan actually, so you can find it. It's not occasional when someone wants it. It's like an approved plan. What's going to be burned every quarter? And back to your question is whether or not to buy BNB. The suggestion is to do your own research, right? To do the Dior. I'm actually telling all the time, don't listen what influencers are saying in the YouTube videos, but just do your own research. So same here. Don't listen what I'm saying. You read yourself. Read about BNB, read about any other coin. Get the basic knowledge, the basic information. Who is the team? What is the supply? Who invested into this? What is the business model, right? How the project is earning money. Like what's the tokenomics? What's the community? So check out these basic things and they make your own decisions.
Exactly, because just like you said, you know, like most of the tokens on the space right now are useless, you know, like, and sooner or later they're gonna have their own pump, but you don't expect anything from them because
or not,
you know, like or at all, you know, like definitely, you know, like, and I always say to my team as well that, for example, when a product can work out on a business model without having a token, the token that they are dropping is actually a meme coin of that product.
Exactly.
Nothing more than that.
That's actually a good one. I will be using it for the future interviews.
But
if you don't mind.
pay me royalties, bro. But now to go back on the building, you know, like sector. How can someone build a career on Binance, for example, as one of the biggest institutions on crypto?
That's actually a very good question. The second best question that I'm being asked. So we are proactively hiring, right? All the time we are hiring in all the possible positions and all the possible locations around the globe. So except of the very minor exceptions,
Yeah.
we can hire anywhere in the world. So we are fully remote organization, right?
Okay.
If it's not like a general manager for the specific exchange in the specific countries, people can sit anywhere they want. They can speak any language they want, but inside the company we speak in English.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is always a need for us, for the Web3 talents,
Yeah.
and for all the other people too, CS agents, compliance agents, etc. So there is a Binance job website
Yeah.
on the lever, on the lever.
Landing page of Binance site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you click Binance jobs and not go to the Binance career, but
Yeah.
goes to the lever Binance
Yeah.
jobs,
Yeah.
you can see actually a list and you can filter by department and by location.
Yeah. It's a great one. Yeah. I was digging on it, and
It's actually hundreds of open applications. So feel free to apply there, and we are constantly looking for the talents.
That's exactly because my thing is that I'm kind of like my visions sometimes drive me to sounding delusional. Like that's the thing that I mean, not everyone can expect or can understand what type of what you're seeing, like by being daily on those type of stuffs. And I always suggest, because I dig in on, for example, I have notifications on Binance, LinkedIn, like Binance, like Twitter, all those, just to keep up with what's happening. Like I said to a lot of builders, like, why are not just applying? Like apply, try your luck. If they respond, that's a great one. Like you can have a job and build a career in one of the biggest institutions, like on the crypto world, like, which is leading right now. The other, now to follow up with this one, because how do you see, for example, now that you saw Kosovo potential, and you saw that type of builder mindset and stuff like that, would any, would be able to connect any type of hub, like of builders and also those who have different type of experiences and also being, professionals in different type of software engineering or social media or marketing or whatever, to have that type of connection with Binance team when they are having applications open, like to recommend or endorse any type of, like guy or whoever is a professional on their sector. Is you guys working with any of the entities like to provide human resources for different type of job application, or is purely applying on the website?
No, so it's all in-house. We do not use any external parties to do so. We do not promote it, but it is for the reason, right?
Yeah.
We just don't want to limit our talent search to the specific geography.
Love
and it's
it.
not about the Kosovo
I get it,
or Ukraine or
Yeah.
whatsoever, right? If there is a great talent sitting in, you name it, somewhere in Africa, right?
Exactly.
And it's a great fit for the existing team that sits in Singapore.
Yeah.
We will go for it, right? That's why we do not limit for the specific geography. We would rather find the best talents from the space. So this is our strategy.
This is exactly the gold mine, if I can call it, like this type of decentralization, that whoever you are, wherever you live, like whatever you had on the past or whatever, you still can become huge, like in crypto and Web3, which is something, like, and also something that should motivate people and also those who are, like seeing themselves as lost in their life and career, like, which is something that people need to be driven on, to be completely honest. And that's the I don't want to get it less, like more longer than this one, even that I feel that we are having a good discussion, but like let's not keep it that much. As a final like question that I want to make to you. How do you see Binance, operating with a Binance payment, even on those type of small, entities such as grocery stores, taxi drivers, like all of those stuff? Have you guys have any type of? I know exactly how they can be operating, but have you guys have any type of, solution right now? If a taxi driver, a private taxi driver wants to implement crypto on his daily, activities and stuff, what would you suggest to go for?
It's a very good question, and I think it's one of the biggest driver that can push the crypto adoption globally, right?
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it roots to the regulation.
Exactly.
And I'll explain why. So we have a fully made ready solution, Binance Pay, right? And it's huge. So Binance Pay is actually allows both merchant and the user to pay in crypto real time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't require any complex integrations because it's all done through the APIs. These APIs are already built through the tens of thousands of merchants and users, so it's no problem, right? The problem is that both this user is happy to pay in crypto and this merchant is happy to accept the crypto. And this is a problem, right? Because in most of the countries, accepting crypto is not allowed because according to the local regulation, the only means of payment is the national currency, which is like 99.9% countries in the world, right? That's why we are having these financial intermediaries. So it's either the bank or the payment service providers that are converting to the local currency at the time of the payment, right? So the model that most probably you've seen we launched in Bhutan, when now everyone is accepting crypto, it works like this. So there is a big bank that has all the merchants integrated, and we implemented Binance Pay with this bank. So when the user is paying through the Binance, we automatically release the crypto to the bank. Bank converts
into
real time into the local currency and send the local currency to the grocery store, right? The only complexity here is that bank or this financial intermediary has to accept the stable coin as a payment. So as soon as the financial institutions are going to be ready to accept stable coins to settle these payments, it will boom in one day. It will be so quick that it's very hard even to imagine, because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's more secure, it builds the crypto adoption. And for these merchants, it gives them the competitive advantage versus everyone else who doesn't have the crypto payment. So that's their way to compete.
Exactly. You know, like, and I said it was the last question, but I need just to follow up with this one. What do you think about, you saw the OTC desk exchange that we have there, you know, like, and for example, someone can come convert their crypto to cash and cash to crypto, you know, like, and also have a, you know, like invoice that they did so, you know, to declare and also pay taxes with it. Would that be also a solution, you know, like for those type of crypto payments to be integrated? For example, someone pays and accepts crypto and he accepts it on USDT, even that we operate with ERA, he comes and converts USDT to ERA, you know, like on an OTC desk or IRL exchange. Like, I mean, I know it's not that most, you know, like user-friendly type of way and not the most, you know, like efficient way, but that's also something as a solution, or you see it as not that much reliability, you know, like on the manners of that?
No, it's actually what you're doing is great, but this is one of the channels, right? And we need to offer to the users as much as possible reliable, secure, and trusted and cheap channels to select from. So someone might want to use the P2P, someone is using the credit card, someone is using the bank transfer, someone is coming to you for the OTC desk. Someone is paying in the shop with crypto. So the more use cases we have, the better we and faster we push the crypto adoption.
Yeah, I love it. You know, like, KK, I know that you're tired, bro. And I know that not only you, but also the rest of the team, you know, like is tired from all the back and forth, you know, like questions that you guys, and also discussion that you guys have with the community. I truly appreciate you coming to Prishtina. Same with Sandra as well, you know, like, and also the rest of the team. And I'm looking forward to have you guys, you know, like here more often, even if not for crypto related, you know, like we can drive you guys all over the country, you know, like, and have some good food and also some experiences on different cities. You know, like, I truly appreciate you and thank you for being on Fear and Greed podcast.
Actually, exclusive content for your podcast. As I understand, I'm the first real live guest here, right, on your podcast.
Which is crazy.
The exclusive information is that the team is actually preparing already the second meeting here. It's going to happen 11th of June. In the same location. It's going to be Binance Meetup.
Love it, love it.
We were honored to be here as the guest. So we would like you and your team to become our guests too
100%,
on the Binance
100%.
Meetup. So See you in less than 1 month.
Yeah, same location, Clan Arena.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be fun. You guys need to be there, you know, like, and also we are a community, you know, like that we just need reasons to meet each other. One of the reasons is Binance Meetup as well, you know, like, and those type of offline events are what drives us a lot, you know, like, thanks a lot, KK, and it was an absolute pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, guys, have a good one. And you saw the man himself and also the whole Binance team, you know, like coming and also seeing and appreciating all of you guys. I'm going to switch in Albanian for a little, you know. Faleminderit këtë që jeni ka në edicionin e dytë të BlockTalk Prishtina 2025, në këtë vit me bashkëpunim me Binance, me krerët edhe vendimarrësit e Binance si institution. Vitin e ardhshëm po besoj që ka me kanë edhe një 10 herë më e madhe me shumë institucione tjera të cilat kanë me përkra këtë movement. Faleminderit këtëve, have a good one, GG.
Boot it out. Beat it. Pop 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 pop. Boot it out. Beat it. Pop 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 pop. Baby.